So today we are delving into an interesting topic.
Can't wait.
Something that is, it seems as though it's really exploded probably in the last 5 years. Based off what I researched, it was like since like COVID times it really took over. And we are talking about toxic work environments.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
When are you going to be enthusiastic for my topic choice? I'm trying to help the people here. Let me start off with some stats, okay? Because the people like the stats.
Okay.
So it says 27% of South African employees who resign cite bullying or harassment by line managers as the main reason. Millennials are less likely to stick it out in a toxic culture than previous generations, contributing to 15.5% annual turnover rate. South Africa loses 19 billion annually in productivity due to depression-related and absenteeisms. Millennials push for mental health days, counseling benefits, and flexible schedules as a direct response to these costs, forcing companies to see wellness as business investment and not just a perk. I am so happy that I work for a company that prioritizes my mental health to the point where people will say, you need to go process.
Oh, so it's, yeah, I don't know what to say. The most important thing is like, are you prioritizing your mental health?
Mm.
And most people are not. And they blame, and this is a generalization,
Yes.
because this is the way that society has been taught to. It's the workplace's fault, so they need to help me.
Mm-hmm.
Or they need to send me on a course, or they need to educate me.
Yeah.
And one of the biggest things, and I learned this from Blessinger, is that most people have no value to education.
Yeah.
Because education is free.
Yep.
And I was like, it's not free in South Africa. And his words to me were, yes, but it was free for you when you were at school because your parents paid for you.
Mm.
So it was free.
Yeah.
And when he said that, I was like, ooh, that is true.
Yep.
Is kids don't pay for their education until they get to university, and then they get grants and they get this and they get that, and they, in South Africa they toy because the fees are too high.
Fees must fall.
Yeah, all those kind of things, and it's because the wrong value is placed on education.
What do you mean?
Well, people either have no value of it, or they blame somebody else for why they can't afford it.
Oh, okay.
So they're placing the wrong values on it instead of going and saying, well, how can I afford it?
Mm.
How can I value education? So what happens is they then leave school.
Yep.
And now the employer says, you need to go on a course.
Okay.
And they go, well, I don't want to.
Mm.
Why must I go on that course? I want to go on this course.
I have to do it on my weekend as well.
Are you going to pay me for doing it on my weekend?
Like extra time? Like, what is it?
Do I get extra time? Do I get overtime? Am I going to get a day off for it? And so, but then they'll stand there and say, but you need to pay for my mental health because there's bullying in the workplace. People bully me.
Yeah.
And I know this is a generalization, but it happens in most workplaces as people don't value what they have.
Yeah.
Because one, they haven't paid for it. They haven't earned the right. They don't understand the value of it. They don't know how much emotional effort and energy it takes. So then they go in and they whinge and whine.
Yeah.
And more often than not, they're the ones creating the toxic environment.
Yee.
And I say that, and it's not always the case. Yes, please don't get me wrong. Not every boss is perfect.
Yeah.
I know that I am not, and I know that I have tried perfectionism to
Look,
get
you
you
went
to
there,
do things.
You weren't there than you were 5 years ago. Let's just be honest.
100%. I have had to work very hard at. So have you.
I don't think chalk and cheese is the right analogy for it.
But it's important to understand that I had to acknowledge that I was part of the problem.
Yeah.
And I was creating a lot of the problems because I was trying to force my perfectionism. And there's only one way to skin a cat, onto everybody else.
But you know what's interesting for me, like we talk about during that time period, yes, obviously I was very much like, what the hell, man? It's a tablecloth. This thing has got to just touch. I'm like, I don't have the measuring capacity to be able to do that. But it still got done. You know what I mean? Like it was done, and hey, I remember there was times I was like, hey, Nicole's not here yet, guys. We're going to get this thing as right as we possibly can. Like the closest thing to right as, well, not even our rights, her rights as we can. But it wasn't a thing. I don't ever think I went, oh man, Nicole's just like such a bully. And just like, oh no. I never truly felt that. And I think for me, it is probably coming from that generation of suck it up and get it done. It's your job. Like, what do you do?
And yeah, like for me, it was like, this is the way it needs to be done, and this is why. And it's not negotiable. Like, if I arrive and the tablecloth is like that, there's a problem.
Yes.
Whereas now, I'd like go as far as to say, you understand why the tablecloth needs to be straight, and you are willing to put more effort in, and you're putting effort in not for me. Because previously it was so that you didn't get into trouble.
Well, of course.
Me.
Yeah, of course.
Now you're putting the effort in because I'm coming in and I'm going, oh, great job, Silly. Okay, next time can you maybe try a little bit more? Or I won't say anything and I'll just go and like straighten it to a straight, not a straight.
Yeah.
But it's important to understand that I had to change so that you could change. And it's the one thing that I have learned. When you change, the world around you changes. The problem with change is that it's painful, it's uncomfortable, and you have to take responsibility for all the things that you have done and haven't done.
Oh no! You see, you just used the word there that nobody wanted to hear. Just kind of ruined the whole podcast. You said responsibility. I have to take responsibility for myself. That's not. Nope. It's your fault. It's cool.
But it's still,
It's crazy.
Absolutely.
It's so crazy for me. And this it's such a low number, but it got me. It says research shows 4% of leaders in South Africa may display psychopathic traits, domineering, manipulative, fear-based leadership.
Only 4%.
I know, right? That's an incredibly low number. I thought it would have been way higher than that.
Wow.
And I guess it's from what was surveyed, but like, I mean, even if you survey 100 people.
I know that I have possessed all of those traits.
Domineering, manipulative. I don't know. Okay, maybe not towards me. I can't say.
I had to manipulate you to get you to do stuff.
Oh, got you in that regard. Okay.
I had to be domineering. I had to be what?
Fear-based? That's the one that stuck out for me.
But I'm not it. It's the definition of abuse is giving someone something they don't need or want.
Okay.
Or stopping someone from getting something they don't need or want.
Okay.
So a lot of abuse in that terminology happens in the workplace.
Explain that.
Okay, so you don't need or want the tablecloth to be straight.
Oh, yeah. No.
So in order to make you do what I need you to do, I went with the abuse. I'm making you do something you don't want to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got you.
So I had to be manipulating, domineering, and fear-based. Okay. The moment I changed and got you to see it from the point of view of, if the tablecloth is skew, people will be, not everybody, but certain people in the room, the tablecloth is going to be a distraction for them.
Yeah.
They are not going to learn because they are going to be looking at the tablecloth for the next 2 hours, wondering how they can straighten it.
Yeah.
And not everybody in the room is going to be doing that, but I would be one of those people. Like, I wonder if you put the tablecloth on. I wonder.
What was the thinking behind that? Why did they do it like that? That doesn't seem straight. Yeah.
And my whole little voice is going to be, for the next hour, I'm going to be focused on the tablecloth.
Yeah.
Or if there's a mark on the tablecloth, or if the tablecloth is dirty. And, you know, in terms of my husband would be sitting there going, well,
What's tablecloth?
you're just lucky they had a tablecloth. It's all right. You don't have to look at the table. Awesome. And he'd be focused on something completely different.
How was it?
And he'd be looking at, I don't know, maybe the music and going, the sound's not great.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder how long that speaker's been crackling. And so, you know, it's just everybody's going to be focused on different things. So the straighter you can have the tablecloth, the more people are going to be in the room to learn.
Yeah.
But in order to get certain people in our team to do that, I had to be domineering, abusive, manipulative, all of those things. Then I realized that didn't work. Or maybe it did work, but not optimally. And so I had to change me to open it from a different perspective and go, well, maybe if I grow me and I'm not so focused on perfection, you guys will step up. And that's exactly what happened, is the abusiveness of it changed because I changed. And then you were able to step up. And I mean, now it's like, it's so funny because if I forget something or do something wrong, you guys are in a position to abuse me and to laugh at me and make jokes. And
that's a week's worth of content right there.
yes, right?
100%.
But go back 5 years ago, if I'd have forgotten something, there is no way that anybody would have said anything in front of me.
Nicole forgot something. I don't even think that would have happened. I didn't even think that was possible 5 years ago. It's so weird. Like, I feel like the better you've gotten, now you become lazier. Now you forget stuff. It's the weirdest thing in the world. Because 5 years ago, that was never a thought that I had. Because I was like, Nicole would never forget anything. Nicole packs everything for every event. Now it's like, oh, she forgot.
Forgot the
I
tablecloth.
was away and I got a message about that. Trying to enjoy my holiday, and it made my holiday even better. I was like, yes, even though I missed it, it still happened. It's real.
But now it's not an abusive or a dominating situation. There's a spirit of play.
Ooh.
And it's fun and we laugh about it, and it's a very different environment.
Yeah.
Because I mean, even as you're talking, it's a spirit of play. Like, I was on holiday. I got a message. Whereas before, nobody would have even dared say anything because we don't want to get into trouble.
You're alone.
And that fear-based domination was very prevalent. Now, if you put that into, different scenarios, different workplaces, those things are happening. And you have employees that are doing it to other employees, managers, like, what did you say? Line managers. And the line manager isn't taking responsibility for their part in it, and the employee's not taking the responsibility for their part in it.
Yeah.
So if we go back to the scenario of you and me, everything was my fault. And you would blame me because I was pointing out that the tablecloth wasn't straight. And you were focused on, where's Nicole? Is she here yet? And I mean, I even remember the one day saying, you guys did a good job. And then Michaela said, this is the first time you guys didn't forget anything. Michaela went, well, actually we did. We just ran off to the store quickly and thought. And I was just like, And I was like, where's the slip? No, we paid for it ourselves. I'm like, how often have you guys done that? Like, and they were like, often. Like, we went off and bought this because we didn't want to get into trouble and we didn't want you to know that we'd forgotten. And I was like, I must be terrible to work for but that was the shift, is that, like, I realized how much you guys were trying to get it right. To I don't want to say impress me, but to not get into trouble.
Yeah.
To not get yelled at. And once I started to go, well, I wouldn't like to work for someone like that. Oh, shit. I'm not a very nice person. I have to take responsibility for the fact that I don't give praise. I scream and yell, and I'm always critical. That sucks. Oh, that's not so nice. And so once I started to take responsibility and deal with my issues around that, because one of the things that certainly happened in my life, and, is that a lot of people grew up with somebody that was but people that are perfectionists grew up with somebody that was a perfectionist. So whether it was a teacher, whether it was a parent, whether it was an auntie or an uncle or somebody, somewhere in their life, they had somebody that was a perfectionist.
Yeah.
And so for me, that was what I knew. That was how I survived.
So it's normal, right?
It was normal in my house, because if everything was perfect, my dad wouldn't lose his temper. If everything looked perfect, we could go out and have a nice evening. And my parents wouldn't scream and yell at each other. And if you sat and behaved yourself and were the model child, Dad wouldn't scream and yell at me or tell me I wasn't eating properly, or, the evening would go smoothly. So I became this, like, everything needs to be perfect so that someone doesn't get upset. And so that played out in my life everywhere. So I had to go back and deal with my stuff from a child so that I could be responsible, because generally what has been done to you, you are doing to somebody else.
Yeah.
Whether you like it.
Yeah, and I mean, I think we I don't want to say we see that, but like something that Barry speaks about, like at our events, is like when people become managers, I'm going to tell them what to do, right? Because my manager told me what to do. My manager was upon my head, so I'm going to do that to them. And it doesn't seem like, it's not even one of those things where people
are consciously aware.
100%. They don't. It's not like it's sit there and plot. Okay, maybe some people do. I'm not.
Yes, some people.
Some people sit down and plot their revenge because this was my moment. But not everybody. Most people, it just happens, like exactly like you're saying. Like, it's learned. I learned how to do this, right? And that's the thing. I'm intrigued by this new generation, man. Like, they're a fascinating bunch to me. They really are a fascinating bunch.
Well, we were talking about it over the last few days, and Michaela and I binged watched over the weekend The Summer I Turned Pretty.
Okay.
It's a series, and Michaela's read all the books, so she's like, come on, let's have a goose weekend, come sit and watch it. And anyways, it's about these young teenagers that grow up and what have you, but they have a summer house that they go to, and every summer they go to their summer house, and they arrive at the summer house, and the summer house is stocked with food, and everything's there, and they have a cleaner that comes in, and they don't have to do anything. They just are there for a good time, and they can have as many parties as they want, and at 15 they can get just drunk as they want, and they can have, I don't know, watermelon daiquiris and blah, blah, whatever they have. And it is like, I was like, wow, and this is where our certain generations are going, because what life experience do you have if everything comes easy like that? And so then we've created these generations that everything's easy and they don't have to do anything, and there's no consequences, because if I feel sick, it's okay, let's stand up. Okay.
And I mean, that then becomes the question, right? Have we reached a stage where their role in, and this is, we kind of briefly had this conversation yesterday after our session, but like, are they championing mental health and the importance of mental health, your mind, your conditioning, and actually sort of like, processing, therapy, all those types of things, or are they genuinely just too soft?
So I'd ask the question, like, there are a lot of things that you can do yourself without going to therapy.
Cool.
Okay, so
What we got?
so we just, is it Hal Elrod? He does this Miracle Morning. I think so.
Let's see.
Is it?
Let me see.
So basically, it's 7 minutes. He wrote a book, and it's 7 minutes in the morning, 7 things you can do, and
How Elroy?
yeah,
Yeah.
and basically it's gratitude.
So can I read it?
Oh, okay. So he hit the 6. He calls it savers. So it's 7 minutes, and there's 6 things you can do. So silence. So it's meditation, prayer. We would say presence. So you just basically get presence. You do a minute of presence, then you do a minute of your affirmations. And so very positive, intentional statements. Then visualize, mentally rehearsing success and desired outcomes. Exercise. And I mean, he's like, do a minute of exercise and like a minute of sit-ups. That's all you got to do. And then reading, a minute of reading, and then this basically, he says you can make it as long or as short as you want. So after reading, then scribing, so journaling, reflection, track progress, clarify thoughts. So those are all things that we promote. So we teach, we talk about presence, we talk about, in terms of gratitude, we talk about wins, we talk about
writing down your wins.
Writing down your wins, and those are just things you can do yourself without having to go to therapy or anything like that. And I can guarantee you, if you do just gratitude every morning, you write down 10 things you're grateful for every morning for 3 months, you will significantly change the state of your mental health. Okay. But most people don't want to do that. Why? Because you mean I have to do that?
I'm a sit down. No.
What? I have to do
am
something?
so
No, but I want you to do it for me.
Tell me what I'm grateful for.
I want you to do it for me. And this is where what happens is we see that in the workplace is that people are going, I want my boss to send me for therapy. I want my boss to send me on a course. And it's a case of you must do it for me. Because why? That's what happened in life.
So it's given to me.
Everything was given to me. At school was given to me. I rocked up at school and I wanted the latest and greatest cricket bat, and I got it. The latest and greatest car. We were talking about it this morning, how many kids get given brand new cars at 16.
Wow. Just in this area that we work in, the young men that I see driving certain cars, and I'm like, dude, you are like probably 10, 15 years younger than me.
So we were talking about, I remember my daughter's friend at 16, she got given a Mercedes, an SLC 200 or an SLK 200, a silver one, with a, whatever, the roof goes off, convertible. And at 16, for her learners, she got given this brand new car, and she wrote it off. I think possibly like within 3 months of getting her driver's license or something like that. And her parents just bought her another one. Like, okay, don't worry, insurance paid. It's okay. And I'm like, what are you teaching your children if you are not teaching them the value of material things? And the same is true in our mental state. What are you teaching your children around their mental states? Like, Are you letting them throw tantrums? Are you letting them throw their toys out the cot because they've had a busy day and it's not their fault that they had to play sport all day and then go to the school concert and then now they don't have time to do their homework and it's not their fault that they got to bed at 11 o'clock at night and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, this child is 16 and chose to play sport and do the school concert and go to school, and they had an hour where they could have done their homework, but instead they spend it on their phone chatting to their friends.
Or you chatting.
No, they don't chat anymore. They WhatsApp or they message. They don't talk.
I don't even, you know what the thing is?
Or they Instagram.
It's
whatever.
even, yes, so it's more in that. They talk to each other on their streams now. On their YouTube streams or their Instagram lives. That's where they're talking to each other.
So they're not even physically talking.
No.
They're sitting on their phones for that hour. And then it's your fault that their homework wasn't done. And they had such a busy day. And you have to let me stay at home. Otherwise, I'm going to get into trouble with the teacher tomorrow. And yes, I may be exaggerating a little bit.
I mean, I'm probably sure there's like 4 mothers who are going to watch this and go, oh, damn. I'm setting it low. 4 is the lowest, but
If you are one of those mothers, please say me. Or you can say my child.
yes, please.
My child certainly did that. And we have a choice at that point to teach our children, no, you are going to school and you are going to deal with the consequences of not doing your homework. Or, you know, in terms of, I'll use another scenario. Like, let's say, I think once Michaela went to a concert and it was a Sunday evening or something like that. And I was like, you can go, but there are conditions. You will be at school on Monday. I don't care how tired you are. You will be at school on Monday. And of course, she went out late. And of course, Monday morning, wake up. Oh, I'm tired. Oh, did you? And blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. And I remember saying to her, you have a choice right now. You can get up and you can go to school, or you can stay home and spend the day in bed and rest, but you will never go to another concert or another event or another anything on a Sunday. Oof. The choice is yours.
Interesting trade, that. That is so abusive. Oh my gosh.
Right, yes.
How dare you give her choices?
But also, how dare I tell her she can't do something? Anyways, guess what her choice was? She then got up and
went to school. The reward was too big to lose.
And so it's understanding that teaching your children there are consequences of their emotions.
Factual.
And it's not to say that I understand you're tired. It's not to say that I'm dismissing the fact that you're tired.
Thank you for sharing that with me and telling me how you feel.
Because that is great that you've acknowledged that. Okay. But guess what? When you're an adult and you go out and you get drunk.
Oh.
And you are tired in the morning. You only have so many sick days.
Yep.
And so many days you can rock up with a hangover before you get fired. Or so many days you don't rock up.
Yeah.
But it's important for you to understand there are consequences. And I'm not saying you don't feel tired. I understand. But you have a choice.
And that's how it starts, right? It starts from things like that. It's little habits. And I think that's what's probably kind of happened with this generation, is that they've built these habits from primary school, high school, then get into varsity because, you know, exactly like you're saying, everything's been free and given to me. I then get out of varsity and I'm now in the workforce. Somebody's supposed to give me a job. Because you guys have been giving me stuff this whole time.
Yep.
Now you're stopping giving me stuff. What is going on here? This is madness. Sorry, I needed to just find this out. So I wanted to find out how many healthcare professionals there were in 1990 versus today. You want to take a guess?
I'm going to guess. Are we talking South Africa or global?
Global. Actually, no, this is just US.
Just US?
Just US.
So I'm going to say like 200,000 to 300,000 more.
It's very rare that I say this to you. You are wrong. In 1990, there was about 63,000 mental health care professionals in the US. Today, currently in 2025, there's over 1 million.
Wow. Okay. I don't want to. We're in the wrong industry.
Yeah, we definitely are.
But it is true, and this is where, are you in the sickness industry or are you in the health industry? Because a lot of those healthcare professionals are actually in the sickness industry, because the world is becoming sicker and sicker, or unhealthier.
Well, just keep you unhealthy, right?
Well, yes.
Because I mean, that'll be my thought. Is like, for example, if you're putting somebody on like antidepressants or whatever, they've got to keep coming back to you to get their fill, and you've got to sort of, I don't know, I'm just speculating here. Don't hold me to this, but you've got to. I would feel like there's a reason that you would have to give them to them, right? So if I'm a therapist, you come to me, hey Nicole, how was your month? It was hard or whatever. Okay, here's your prescription. Go on your way. See you next month, type of thing. That's the way that I would do it.
Or every 6 months. I think in South Africa, it's every 6 months. You only have to see your healthcare professional once every 6 months for them to give you a script. They can give you 6 months repeat.
That is wild. So you actually don't have to deal with what you're feeling for 6 months.
No, but you don't deal with what you're feeling when you take antidepressants.
Oh, yes, because
so it just numbs everything.
That's
And then what happens is you decide, I'm feeling so much better, I'm going to come off my antidepressants. And everything that has been suppressed, let's just say you're on them for 6 months. Everything that has been suppressed for the last 6 months, you start coming off your antidepressants and all of that stuff and the stuff from before.
Yeah.
So you now adding 6 months worth of stuff, boom.
Onto years of stuff.
And then you start coming off your antidepressants and all of that stuff arrives once. And that's where it is so important for you to wean yourself off antidepressants, not just go cold turkey. Because a lot of people go, I'm sick of these things, I'm throwing them in the bin. But it's understanding there are effects of that.
Yeah.
So when you start coming off of your antidepressants, you got to make sure you do it in a healthy way, because otherwise you are going to feel worse.
Smash yourself.
And, or if you are going to like go cold turkey, do yourself a favor, go on holiday where you can cry and sob and let all of that stuff arrive. And
Don't do it while you're still at work.
Please don't do it while you're at work, because it creates a lot of stuff. So it's just being aware of there are ways to do it.
Yeah.
And for me it's like, I'm not a medical practitioner and I'm not going to give you advice on how to deal with it, but I do know that you have to do it smartly. And I mean, I have helped a lot of people come off antidepressants because we've worked through how to deal with your stuff so that you can function in life.
Yep.
But like if we go back to, I don't even think we've discussed toxic environments.
No, you have not. I
know that was the topic.
No,
but this stuff is all relevant to a toxic environment because it creates that toxicity if you don't deal with stuff.
Yeah, I feel like we have actually, because this is like more people centered, right? We're not diving into it to say, oh, your boss is this. No, it's actually and I think you said it earlier, it's like there's two sides to this, right? So there's this toxic environment that we involved in. What part did you play in creating it, and what part did I play in creating it? And people don't want to do that.
No, it's much easier to blame you.
Yeah, I know that I was a mad part of the toxic environment. I created that so much, and I was like, I don't understand why everybody is so upset with me. Like, I'm showing.
I just arrived an hour late, but I don't know what.
Why are you so upset? You're so focused on time. Like, sheesh, just relax. And people People don't want to do that, and I think that's. I feel like that's why we've not. I'm not going to say we've covered it. I don't think you can ever cover this whole topic. This is a long topic, but I think that we're addressing it, and what I like about it is that we've been there, right? And I don't think that a toxic environment has to necessarily be what this. I'm not going to say generation, but I'm going to actually say what social media is making it seem, which is like this horrible thing where you walk in and every day your boss is shouting at you. If you work in something like that, you definitely should leave. That's mad.
And it's also being aware of the language you use. Because, I mean, I know that you and Michaela used to say, Nicole shouted at us.
Yes.
And just so you know, this is not shouting.
Yeah. No, fair.
And Barry used to, like, often he'd say to certain people, I was there, I saw Nicole, yes, she did raise her voice, but she did not shout.
Yeah, you just
She may have been upset, but she did not shout. And he'd go, this is, and he'd raise it, show you what shouting was. Yeah. And so it's be aware of what language you are choosing, because if you are saying my boss shouts at me every day, is that actually the truth?
Yeah.
So it's just be aware of your language, and then you have to be willing to ask yourself the question, okay, so my boss does shout at me every day. Okay, why? Or what is the reason that my boss shouts? Is it something I am doing, or is it something they are doing?
Yeah.
And like you made me laugh. If your boss shouts at you every day, then you should leave. Hell no. Because given the state that you started working for us with, you used to rock up to work late every single day. And if I had shouted at you every single day, which I probably did, or get upset with you, that was not because that was not me.
No.
That was all on you, because you were arriving late and you were creating the space for me to get upset.
Yeah.
Okay. The moment I stopped getting upset with you is probably the moment I gave you space to change. Okay. So one is, what part are you playing and what part are they playing?
Yeah.
So it's important for you to look at first, what are you doing that is causing them to yell or get upset or to treat you badly? What are you doing? Are you rocking up to work on time? Are you breaking agreements? Are you clear on what the agreement is?
Yeah.
Because our agreement was you're going to start at 8 o'clock. Okay, it's now 8 o'clock and you're not here.
Yeah. Shouldn't have made that agreement.
Okay. Right.
Exactly.
So what is the agreement? If you are unclear on the agreement, and, that's where it's okay to go, okay, cool. Well, let's start with that. What is the actual agreement?
That's important.
Find out from your boss, your superior, your manager, well, what is the expectation? What time do you expect me to be here? Okay, well, I expect you to be here at 7:45. Well, I take a taxi to work, and there is no ways I can get here at 7:45 because I get up at 4 and I go blah blah, and it takes me 3 hours to get to work, and I cannot be here by 7:45. I can be here at 8, but not 7:45. Okay, well, you shouldn't have taken the job.
Fair.
And that's where it's like, then you go, okay, cool, now we part ways, because now my manager ain't gonna shout at me because I actually realize I'm out of exchange or the agreement. I thought there was room to negotiate the agreement.
Yeah. I like that. I actually think that makes way more sense.
So, yeah, it is. It's just, are you willing to look at the part you played and the part that they played? What are you willing to be? There's that word again. Responsible.
Oh, damn responsibility. Yeah, people don't want to be responsible for things. And I think that's for me, I would say that's like ultimately the crux. Like, that's the problem that we sit in, right? Because it's easier for me to and I know that I did it in the past. It was easier for me to blame you. It was easier for me to blame Barry. It was way easier to do that because when I'm doing that, but more so, I get people on my side. Because guess what? My friends also have horrible bosses, right? So none of us are doing anything wrong. We just have these horrible bosses who shout at us for no reason, and they expect me to show up for work on time, and they expect me to actually do work when I get there.
And as a boss, well, I can bitch and moan to all my mates about how useless my employees are. Because they don't do what I tell them.
And you've also got mates who are bosses who are, my staff is exactly the same as yours. How weird is that? We all went through the same system to end up horrible. But nobody.
But everybody's blaming everybody else. And it's the boss's fault. The boss is saying it's the employee's fault instead of what can you be responsible for? And if I can't stress enough, if you just do gratitude, presence, and wins every single morning, you will change the world around you. If, it doesn't matter what you do, if you do those 3 things, but guess what? You have to do them. No one can do them for you.
Would you say by like doing that, and this is going to be a weird question, but like you wouldn't take things personally? So let's just say, for example, I do my gratitude, I do my wins. I'm working on my mental state of where I'm at. You doing you as my boss, whatever you doing, but now you have the situation at home. Let's just say one of the girls upsets you and whatever, you now come through with that upset. You now yelling in the office. You finding things to yell about. And I'm like, whoa, like this is not even an important thing right now. But okay, you feeling some type of way. Do you think that I would be aware enough to actually go, okay, cool, this has nothing to do with me, so I'm not going to take this personally. I'm going to let her run out a screaming process, and then we'll go from there.
So, over a period of time, that will start to happen. But everybody's different, and everybody has different levels of stuff to deal with. So, depending on who you are and what you've had to deal with, you may or may not take that stuff personally.
Okay.
But I can guarantee you, the more present you become, the more you practice presence, the more you will become aware of, oh, Nicole's not actually upset with me. I think she's upset with something else that happened at home. Oh, okay. Then once you have that awareness of Nicole's upset with something else, then you go, oh, well, that's not my fault. I don't need to take it personally. But if you are, everybody is different. And the sooner people learn, it's not about you.
Yeah, most of the time it's not.
Most of the time it's not. But the sooner you learn that, the sooner you can stop taking things personally. But it is hard to learn that.
It's hard to not take things personally. And I think that, so like we went through an experience recently where I've learned that, where I'm like, it wasn't me. You were upset by somebody else in the office. The person just kept making you upset. And it was never me. It was never became. But it took, I actually feel like if it was 5 years ago, I would have taken those things personally. I would have been like, what? Because of that person, you're upset with me now.
But you wouldn't have even known that it's that person.
100%.
You would have just gone, what did I do?
Yeah.
What did I do now?
Yeah.
Like.
Again.
You see, it's always me. I'm always the problem.
Can't make this lady happy. What is going on here, man? I even showed up early today. You're still upset. Crazy.
And that's where you talk. The focus was fear. Because you were afraid of me.
Yeah.
You were not focused on the positive of being here to do what I'm here to do. And that's where a lot of people get it wrong, is that they're so focused on the wrong things. So they're focused on, I want recognition from my boss. I'm not, tell me how. If that's why you got a job,
yeah,
you definitely ain't going to keep it.
You know,
Or you're going to struggle for a very long time.
you also need to know you're not chocolate, so you're not going to impress everybody.
And chocolate doesn't impress everybody.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So I
Chocolate. Bad. I apologize.
I said to my Danielle, my eldest daughter, my youngest daughter, and the other day I said, I hope you're going to buy that person a box of chocolates for helping you. And she goes, Mom, they don't eat chocolate.
Oh.
It's like, oh, so.
Not everybody eats chocolate nowadays. And that's a topic for a whole nother discussion. The things that people don't eat anymore. Any final thoughts before we wrap this up?
I think the biggest thing that I would say is you need to be in control of your mental health. Nobody else is in control of it. If your environment is toxic, change you. And the world around you will change. Do something for you. So do gratitude, do presence, do wins. I mean, we have the screens and daily ritual on our website. So
Free of charge.
go and take that 30-day challenge and go and do the Green Zone daily ritual for 30 days and make a note of how different you feel after 30 days. That's how you start to fix and change your mental health and then get rid of the toxic environments.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for watching, listening, wherever you are around the world. Please don't forget to subscribe and comment. Just subscribe and comment, or just subscribe and then you comment later if you enjoyed this episode. If you didn't enjoy this episode, you could comment and say you didn't enjoy the episode.
Or I don't agree with you.
That's fine. We want to engage. We don't want people to just agree with us. That's just weird.
Yes.
You can't do that. So please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. Anything else? No. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Nicole, for helping the people as always. And we'll see you guys next week.
See you next week. Bye.
Bye-bye.